Welcome to HBRV Lifestyle. I'm the Honey Badger here, giving it to you straight in the RV business as usual. Today, we're going to answer the question, is the used RV market crashing? Okay, I'm going to refer an article in the RV News that I'm going to link in the description box below. But the majority of what I'm going to work with is a bunch of emails that were sent to me by you, the fans, asking me questions about used RVs and the market. So I've narrowed it down to a couple of scenarios. You're not going to want to miss any of this. In 2020, 2021, prices on used RVs were artificially inflated because of supply and demand. Okay. Here's the biggest example. You purchased a travel trailer for 20 grand, let's say in 2017, brand new, and a dealership offered you 23,000 in 2021. Do you really think that something registered with the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, gains value? No, they depreciate. But this was a unique situation. The manufacturers like Forest River, Coachman, Tiffin, Thor, all of them could not manufacture enough RVs of any kind, travel trailers, tent trailers, toy haulers. They could not produce enough to satisfy the American Canadian demand. Let's remember, we were all locked down. So everybody wanted their private hotel room on wheels so they could go and get outside the house. They didn't want to be stuck inside, a lot of us. So they went out and bought RVs. They went out and bought boats. They went out and bought homes. And because the supply was not equal, not even near equal to the demand, all these prices from trucks to RVs to boats to houses went way high. This RV News article says that the used RV market has lost between 10 and 26% of its value year over year. That's not a crash. No, guys, the used RV market's not crashing. The prices aren't crashing. Okay, don't get mad at me, but they're correcting themselves back to where they should be. New dealerships, RV dealerships that sell brand new product are heavily discounting. The prices are very attractive right now because the opposite occurred. Now, the manufacturers got so much inventory to dealers, and now the demand has went back to normal. It hasn't crashed, it just went back to a normal market. So now the dealerships have to get rid of this new inventory, and the best way to do it is big, heavy discounts. So what does that do to the used RV market? It does exactly what this article says it does, which is bring it down or correct itself. Let's go over the three scenarios. Scenario number one is somebody wants to upgrade. They're like, you know what? We're ready to upgrade. We're tired of what we had. And they found out, oops, the prices are very attractive because dealerships have dropped their drawers or dropped their pants, but my trade-in value is nowhere near what I owe on it. When I go to sell it on my own, which is scenario number two, I can't even get close to what I owe for. I'm getting similar numbers to what I got from the dealership. There were a ton of you that have told me this, okay? And then that rolls us into scenario number three, which is the customer that says, I am done RVing. I'm done. I've had my time. It was great. My family enjoyed it. But now the kids are out of the house. I got to focus on work. Where this case may be, they've tried to sell it and they're getting no hits. They're getting no activity at all. Okay. I have advice for all of you. So here's the Honey Badger's advice for all three scenarios. My first piece of advice is that you and your family need to sit down and talk about how much money you want to throw at this. Whether you're going to go upgrade, whether you want to get rid of it, whether you want to sell it on your own, you need to talk about how much of a check are you willing to write. Not how much you can write for, how much you are willing to write a check for. Now, if that is zero, you're going to have a very, very tough time, okay? There has to be something written. It's like the old saying that you got to pay the piper at some point, especially for anybody that put zero down on the RV they purchased in the last 2 years. My second piece of advice is stop worrying what the NADA guide says publicly. The NADA guide that matters the most is the one that the dealerships pay for. That gives them what the bank value is. Now, the bank doesn't determine the value, but they use that NADA guide to basically give out loans, to give out a loan to value. Just like you get an appraisal on a piece of real estate, that is the appraisal for the bank. And here's the tough part, guys. Ready for this? They don't allow you to add any options. It's not like a car with Kelley Blue Book where you can click all the options and it adds value for the bank to lend on. It's the opposite with an RV. You don't get to add anything. Now, some credit unions will be a lot more flexible, but for the most part, a lot of banks are going to lend without any options on it. They're going to act as if it's all standard equipment. And it sucks. But that's the true face value of it. Okay, let's see how many people hate me now. Let's see. 1, 2. The third piece of advice I have for you guys is mostly for those that are just trying to sell. They're not trying to get in anything else. Look, if you're getting offers far below what you're listing it for, or you're just getting no hits, it's because your RV is worth less than what you're asking for. Now, there's an old saying that says, ask really high because you can always come down. There's a lot of truth to that. But then again, you got to get the price at least within the wheelhouse of what the financial institutions are lending. Remember, we talked about earlier that a lot of this market depends on bank loans. I think it's a little over 80% of purchasers get a loan of some sort on an RV purchase. That's a huge number. So that means the banks, the credit unions control the market. So a lot of times when you get a guy that is, coming at you with a 15 or 20 grand offer less than what you want for your coach, it's more than likely what the financial institution is willing to lend. So let's say you're in a hurry to sell it. Well, you can do one of two things. You can either rip the Band-Aid off or rip the tape off the mouth and just write a check for the difference. Or my favorite scenario I told people was do one of two things. The first thing I would do is go look at consignment lots. See what a consignment lot would give you for your coach to have it sit there for free and have all that exposure, okay? And then number two is, let's say that you owe 40 grand. Pay off $1,000 a month on the principal or $500 a month on the principal and lower the principal. And as you lower it, lower your price. Okay. So here's how that scenario works. All right. So let's say you owe 40. Okay. And let's say by May of next year, you have paid down $5,000 in the principal. Lower your price from 40 down to 35. See if you get a different reaction. And as you pay down the principal, lower the price of the coach accordingly. What that's going to do is save you money overall in the long run. So let's say you get a guy that has enough down payment, loves the coach, and he gets to buy it for 34. Well, there you go. You paid down $6,000 instead of writing a check for 12 or 13 at 25 grand, right? So that scenario is the best case scenario because, yes, you're still paying insurance, but insurance is cheap on RVs, okay? And as you pay down the loan, you finally will sell it. There will be a sweet spot where you'll sell it. We just have to realize that the RV market, the used RV market specifically, is not crashing. It's just correcting itself. And if you want to know more information on how used RVs are financed, click on this video right here.